One of the main exhibits that we have and house in this is an internationally significant item, is Jim Simpson's prisoner of war rug that he knitted as a prisoner of war. And the story is amazing, but seeing the rug in its case is just mind-blowing for anybody that has anything to do with knitting. Just the quality of it is incredible. Our ski collection is actually another nationally significant collection. It's the biggest ski collection in a museum in Australia. And part of it was sent to the World Exhibition in 1984 in New Orleans at the request of Bob Hawke. The pram on skis belonged to the Mitchell family, Tom Mitchell and Aline Mitchell. Tom was a member of Parliament for this area for over 20 years, and his wife Aline wrote the Silver Brumby series. The Jarvis Cottage is a really great example of the early pioneer cottages. This one was built in the 1870s out the road. In those days, of course, there was a whole family living in those two rooms. There's a couple of outbuildings that would have been a kitchen and a wash house, but essentially that was families of 8 or 10 all slept in the same rooms. The Anz Bank building was one of the original banks out at Corryong. All the little bush schools were eventually amalgamated into what we called the consolidated school, and by the 1970s all the children were going to school in Corryong, and these smaller buildings were left to disintegrate. So we were very lucky that we got that one to come in here. The Lockup is an original building from the 1880s, assembled here, and had Wild Right from the Ned Kelly gang actually locked up in it at one stage. Every town had at least one blacksmith shop. This is an example of an early blacksmith shop with the forge. All the horseshoes were made. People on horseback would trot up and actually have their horses reshoed while they waited. It was a very, very important part of every town. We've been lucky enough to have quite a collection from the hospital. We're in the process of erecting a full-size replica of Jack Riley's hut, and this is pretty exciting to still have the skills available to do that. It's a dying art to build a hut in the way that this was built in the late 1800s. The Man from Snow River Museum actually has a really wide range of items relating to the social history of this area.